Let me also comment about the president of the Supreme Court. I'm talking about one mother, Koome, famously known as hot air. And let me try to educate him a little bit. When there is subsidies, because I'm an economist after all, that one is what we call, or who is that person that thinks that I must first of all own another house before I do farming. It is the time for us to warn them. Kwa sababu Ruto amesema, then anaita mkutano na unaenda na unapiga makofi. Unapiga makofi kwa nini? That is where the president comes from, isn't it? Lakini ni watu wawili wali attend Labor Day. That is an indication that my names are Mr. Mheshimiwa Robert Makoha Wangoho, and I was telling you that when you hear such a name, obviously I'm representing the western region of this country because I'm a taxpayer. To begin with, yesterday while at South Sea, the president tried to continue insisting that whether you like it or not, and you are a salaried civil servant, 3% must be deducted from your payslip. And my question is, for the countries that have grown, even economically, there is something we refer to it as public participation. Public participation is always the way to go by the government to the people of a given republic. Now, if you just take a step to make a deduction on an already weak payslip without consulting the civil servants, that one is what we call actually an ignorance of the Kenyan Constitution. Because if you tell us that that one is not a tax, that one is a deduction, that is the same as calling a given dangerous animal using a different name. Are you getting that? Yes. Yeah, it is tax. Don't tell us that it is a deduction when it is affecting people. The impact of a tax and a deduction is still the same. Are you getting that? My question is, let me assume that I already own a house. Why do you think, or who is that person that thinks that I must first of all own another house before I do farming? Why will you think that I should not purchase a motorbike to do my small business, but you think I must begin by acquiring a unit sponsored by the government through deductions? That is very wrong for the civil servants of Kenya. They must be consulted, and the consultation should be based on stopping that deduction. Each and every Kenyan who has elected an MP, this is now the right time to consult your area legislature and stop them from passing the purported bill that is very cruel to the future and the current scenario of the common mwananchi. Wabunge wetu, yes, kama tunaweza wapata hata kwa simu ama SMS, it is the time for us to warn them. Kwa sababu Ruto amesema, lakini nani atapitisha hiyo bills ni MP. Yeah. So it is time to warn them that we are going to record their names right away, because we are always aware for those people who vote for a given bill in the National Assembly. Should they make a mistake of passing the law that is going to frustrate the lives of the citizens of this country, we are going to wait for them during the election time. Na wananchi mimi pia na walaumu sana. We normally see these MPs pass dangerous bills, but at the end of it all, president anawalipa, wakikuja kwa ground tena mnaanza kupiga makofi. You are the first people to be blamed. Mtu amepandisha unga, amepandisha mafuta, stima, ameongeza fees, ameongeza NHIF ukitibiwa ukufe. Then anaita mkutano na unaenda na unapiga makofi. Unapiga makofi kwa nini? Unampigia makofi kwa nini? Ikiwezekana wacha huyo mtu akuje kwa hiyo uwanja kucelebrate ajipata hapo peke yake. You remember what happened on Labor Day in Uasin Gishu? Two officials were the people who attended that meeting. Why is Uasin Gishu in Kenya? That is where the president comes from, isn't it? Lakini ni watu wawili wali attend Labor Day. That is an indication that not only other tribes but even the Kalenjins are suffering, isn't it? Wakiongeza tax kila mtu anaumia. President kusema ati watu waende shambani walime mahindi ndio unga ishuke, kwani hatujakuwa tunalima mahindi hizo siku zingine? Nyinyi mlikuwa mnalima mahindi. We have been farming ever since. Sisi tunaanza kulima saa hizi. Yeye arudishe subsidies. This problem has been brought about by the removal of subsidies on important commodities. And let me try to educate him a little bit. When there is subsidies, because I'm an economist after all, when there is subsidies on important commodities, they will increase the trading activities. When trading activities increase, the taxes also come up and they will improve the economy. Are you getting that?
Yes.
You cannot tell us that by removing the subsidies, it is when you are going to improve the economy and you are borrowing. We understand very well that our president is taxing Kenyans to pay the many people whom he has employed. Uhuru had 24 CAS, he has 50. Where do you think the money is going to come from? Yeye ameandika hawa watu wengi, job moja utapata watu wawili watatu wanashare, na pesa ya kuwalipa ni hii pesa ambayo wananchi wanataksiwa. Let me also comment about the president of the Supreme Court. I'm talking about one mother, Koome, famously known as Hot Air. You remember her making those comments during the ruling of the Supreme Court. Today, if you read the Mount Kenya Times newspaper, that lady is trying to complain that the judiciary needs more funding. You all understand what happened on the day of the ruling of the petition by the Azimio La Umoja coalition. Immediately after President was given the sword, we expected him to do what? To lower the cost of living. That was not something that followed. In fact, the judiciary was on the forefront of dropping the cases of the members of Kenya Kwanza coalition. That is to say, Didmas Barasa had just killed a youth in Kibinidi on the eve of the announcement of his winning. He was arrested for 2 days and then he was released and the case was dropped. Midi Kalinturi had a case in court. He was found in somebody's room. You understand that case? Yeah. The case was dropped. Aisha Jumwa had a case to answer, a murder case. At the coastal region, you understand, he shot a young man. That case was dropped. Mohammed Ali had a case of defamation on Brookside Company. That case was dropped. And even our own DP had a case to answer. The case was actually dropped. Now, when the president of the Supreme Court today comes out to complain that the funding is still at a lower rate, what does he think we Kenyans imagine of her? Which job is the judiciary doing for this nation and its citizens? Having dropped all those cases, 2 murder cases, where is the justice of the families of the people that were killed in cold blood?